Catherine Leonard. I'm the chair of the Department of Agricultural and Resource Economics at the University of Maryland, and it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jennifer King Rice, the Provost and Senior Vice President at the University of Maryland. Provost Rice has served on the faculty and in college leadership roles at the university for more than 25 years, and she's been recognized as a University of Maryland Distinguished Scholar Teacher. In her role as the leader of the academic side of the university, Dr. Rice and I have crossed paths many times while she met with emerging and current leaders on campus. Of course, much of that was online, and I was just a tiny little box on her screen. But she was the big box on my screen. And I agreed to take on the role of leadership and in the department, in part, and my first love is research, not administration. I agreed to take on this role in large part because I knew we were in the hands of a capable leader. I listened as she articulated her vision for the ascending university, and I heard her talk about how she balanced her family and work when she started her journey of leadership. I heard her talk about how important it was for the university to serve the community, and of course the great state of Maryland. And at the same time, I heard her talk about how important it was to treat our workforce properly. And one of the most important roles that she served was as a leader during the height of the pandemic. And we all went online, and we did not know how to do it. We'll find out eventually how we did when those kids are leaders on their own, but we had no choice. And Dr. Rice led us in that terrifying adventure that we had not chosen. Today, our conversations have focused on agriculture, the environment, and particularly the role of law in agriculture. My involvement stems from the fact that my department's affiliation with the Ag Law Initiative, ALEI, and I take immense pride in the work of my colleagues. I'm learning to describe the ALEI as a way of understanding and, when possible, reducing friction. So you can't launch a rocket into space with 12th grade physics. You have to understand how friction actually works. So the Ag Law Initiative helps us communicate to policymakers that farmers have lives, families, aspirations, hopes, and dreams. They don't wake up in the morning asking what laws they can comply with before breakfast. Good laws need to recognize this fact. But friction can be reduced, too. We can help farmers to understand the legislation that's in front of them, and we can also help legislators to design better legislation. In the College of Agriculture, we cherish our dialogues with farmers, as today, and the pinnacle of our career would be seeing a farmer's wisdom encapsulated in legislation. And lastly, we all know about the friction in our society. We have many different types of people here in the state of Maryland, and we don't always agree. But ALEI helps reduce these frictions by assuring farmers that they've been listened to and that they matter, even in College Park. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce Provost Jennifer King Rice with the statement, "Here's a woman who knows what it means to bridge practice and policy." She's an advocate for change in education, and because she spent time in the classroom and she listened to teachers. She truly understands the fundamental purpose of a university as great as the University of Maryland. Jennifer King Rice.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I come from education, so we wait for the responses. It is great to see you all. Thank you so much for having me. And Ken, I just want to thank you for that incredibly generous and gracious introduction. Thank you. I do come from the field of education. Prior to stepping into the provost role at the University of Maryland, I was the dean of the College of Education. And I am truly, deeply committed to being a university for the public good, that our work should really matter. We should be doing things that really matter. Our scholarship should matter. Our teaching should matter. Our service work. So, trying to lead the university in that direction, and it's not been hard with leaders like Ken and so many of the university faculty and leaders in this room. We need to partner, and we need to make change. And so I'm really grateful to be here with you all today. So many key university employees, faculty, leadership, our partners in government and industry, thank you for coming together, for taking the time, for teaching and learning one another. I very strongly believe that research should inform practice, but practice should also inform research. And so that cyclical pattern is really important, and so we all learn from each other through these kinds of opportunities. So thank you for that. I would also really like to explicitly shout out a big thanks to the Agriculture Law Education Initiative team. The leadership, the faculty, putting this wonderful conference together is a heavy lift. These things don't happen on their own. I know that very well, and so I do want to thank you all, and in particular, Kristen Redding. Is Kristen in the room? Kristen back here? The team's coordinator, who I understand was absolutely essential in pulling this conference together. So, Kristen, thank you. I also want to acknowledge and thank all of the speakers and the panelists. As I said, these things matter because of the exchange, because of the meaningful sharing of ideas and experiences, of evidence, of concerns, of fears. Speakers and panelists, thank you for being part of that, for sharing your expertise and your knowledge with the group today. And maybe most importantly, to all of you for being in this room, for your shared commitment to the future of our state and our world. These are important issues. I spent a lot of time looking at the agenda for today, and were a lot of really critical issues that need to be sorted out. I heard the tail end of the last session, and that kind of exchange is absolutely critical to finding paths forward through what I consider to be contested terrain. So let me just say, I am so proud to be a leader of an institution that is so deeply committed in everything that we do to serving our state, through our education, through our research, through our service work and our partnerships. While much of our work has really widespread applications around the world, the work that we do right here at home, right here in Maryland, is absolutely essential to our community and to our state's success, and in turn, to our university's success. You know, we have a line in our strategic plan that I think is my very favorite line. I quote it a lot. And it says something like, at the University of Maryland, we believe that our individual well-being is enduringly bound to our collective well-being. And I really believe that. We're not doing our work alone. We're doing our work with others and for others. And I think it's absolutely essential to remember that all the time. And to add to that, the opportunity to partner with our fellow state institutions, the University of Maryland in Baltimore and the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, only serves to amplify that commitment of shared responsibility and shared impact. The Agriculture Law Education Initiative is also a testament to the success of our Empowering the State partnership with the University of Maryland, Baltimore. This partnership aims to strengthen and serve the state of Maryland and its citizens. Since its creation in 2012, Empower has fostered hundreds of collaborations that wouldn't have happened without this important legislation. From across both institutions that are growing Maryland's innovative economy, advancing interdisciplinary research, increasing educational benefits and workforce development, and addressing so many of our state's most pressing and critical challenges. The partnership is really, truly delivering on a vision of collaboration and innovation and transformative impact across our state in so many ways. And I want to call out Adrienne Arthur here, our fearless leader of the Empowering the State partnership, for her ongoing stewarding of this really important vision. At the University of Maryland College Park, everything that we do is rooted in our pursuit of excellence and impact for the public good. In fact, those words are the title of our strategic plan, which I always carry a copy of in my folder, and so anyone can have this at the end. But I like to wave around this strategic plan because it really does articulate what we're about at the University of Maryland. It's called Fearlessly Forward in Pursuit of Excellence and Impact for the Public Good. It is focused squarely on being a university, a flagship public research-intensive university for the public good in all that we do. This is really important to us. One of the most important ways that we can achieve the ambitious goals that we've laid out in this strategic plan is from the work that we reference as our critical enablers, the things that need to be in place to reflect our values and to achieve our goals. These are really the keys to the plan's success. And I want to highlight just two of those. There's 6 of them articulated in the plan, but I want to talk about 2 of them that I think are clearly demonstrated here today. You are enabling us to realize our vision. One has to do with external engagement, sparking dialogue and collaboration with partners to accelerate and amplify and expand the impact that we're able to have. And so I thank all of our partners in the room for collaborating with us to that end. And the second is really our strategic location, right here in the state of Maryland, at the nexus of both our state and nation's capitals, in a state that has agriculture and has the Chesapeake Bay, has cities and rural areas, and we need to serve all of those spaces and serve them well. And without those 2 critical enablers, this work wouldn't have the kind of impact that it's having. Another part of our plan is our goals, which fall into 4 what we call strategic commitments. They're often recognized as pillars, but we think of them as strategic commitments because of the overlap and the synergy that they have. To reimagine learning, to be experiential, to be meaningful and transformative for our students, but to reimagine learning, to address humanity's grand challenges. And these are challenges that can't be addressed with one discipline or field or perspective alone. Again, why it's so important for everyone to be together in this room today, to take on the grand challenges that are facing agriculture here in our state and beyond. To invest in people and communities, and we're investing in our own people and communities, but also the people and communities in the state of Maryland, and to partner to advance the public good. I don't know about you all, but I really can't think of a better way to describe the work being done by the Agriculture Law Education Initiative than right here at this conference, reflecting those 4 pillars. It's really your collective expertise that will help us address some of the world's most pressing issues, some of our state's most pressing issues, such as climate change and food insecurity. It's your dialogue here today that will lead to greater impact on our communities, near and far. And again, it's your partnership that will allow us to advance the public good and impact the lives of people in Maryland, the lives of people across our country, and those around the globe as well. So I just want to conclude by thanking you once again for being here today, for being tremendous partners, and for being committed to making an impact in real and meaningful ways. So thank you all very much.